How exactly does it work? Where do they show up? How do you know they're a rat? Do they come to you? Do you go to them? Walk me through the ring rat gimmick. russosbrand.com, where the pros are the pros. Let's get to the original question. I talked about Almost Famous because, bro, with rock and roll, they were known as groupies. And, bro, there were very, 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 very famous groupies who went down in history. I mean, literally, really, really famous women that were, rock and roll groupies. In wrestling, they had another name for them that was, not as nice. They would call them the ring rats. Yeah, they're the ring rats, bro.
They are.
And, bro, I got to tell you, when I was around, ring rats still existed because I saw it. I mean, I saw it with my own two eyes. Bro, is that still a thing today?
Yeah, but the quality has dropped off tremendously. I mean, it is nasty out there, Vince. Let me tell you.
Okay, but hold on now. Hold on. But it is definitely still a thing.
Yeah, for sure.
But they're not not flattering. Not flattering. Let's say
no. I mean, I often say like a wrestling rat 7 is like a 4 in real life.
Oh my God.
Like that's how the discrepancy has changed. We talked to the Attitude Era guys, you were there for it. They were truly rock stars almost. They go to the hotel lobby, the hotel bar, and there's bangers, there's dimes everywhere. And, because it was so mainstream, or now it's so niche. Like, if I'm courting an attractive woman, or I meet one out and tell them what I do, like they'll come to the show and they'll enjoy the show and they'll hang out afterwards, but they're not ring rats. Like they would not go to the show if they were not invited or interested in our connection, right? So yeah, it's bad out there, man. So like a diehard wrestling fan who's a ring rat who has no low morals, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Like ew. Wow.
So, bro, how does it work? How does it? I mean, you could openly talk about this. You're a single guy. You're not married. How exactly does it work? Where do they show up? How do you know they're a rat? Do they come to you? Do you go to them? Walk me through the ring rat gimmick.
I will openly say with 100% transparency and honesty, I myself have had far too high standards to have ever courted, smooched, or finger blasted, or dare I say laid with a ring rat. I've never laid with a ring rat. So, but how can you tell? Where are they? Usually front row, oftentimes second row to third row. I would say they have a social media presence that is very aggressive into tagging the potential mate they seek. They'll find a way because, like I said, the wrestling 7, who's a real life 4, will work their way through the low to mid card kind of maybe less attractive and valued men, the low self-esteem wrestlers, to find out where everyone's going, what is all happening. So it might be the hotel lobby bar, it might be the dive bar we go to that night. It might be the hotel party. They'll find a way because they'll latch to the lowest common denominator. Then hopefully they'll go up the card a little bit. But if they don't, they'll settle for whomever got them into the room.
Bro, just say argument's sake. Bro, what was the restaurant? The Ale House. Argument's sake. Just for argument's sake. Bro, say you're at the Ale House. And you see an attractive girl who's like among the wrestling people. How do you know whether she's a ring rat or just a girl?
I would assume she's just a girl. She's attractive. Right off the bat. And so here's one thing I would...
Wait a minute. Hold on a minute. So if they're attractive, we're ruling out ring rats. It's out. They're not ring rats if they're attractive.
For the most part.
Okay.
I mean, if they're, say, adequate, how would I know they're a ring rat? I would see who they're hanging around with. Is it the usual suspects? Yes. Or some of the boys, if I don't want to name names, because I can name a lot, are fucking vultures, right? So when they sense it or they have an inclination or they heard, they swoop right in and they're hanging around there and they're just all over because they won't let go. It's almost territorial and conflict driven when the vultures come into play. One of my kids, Stacy, Space Cowboy, has a quote that I find very funny. He goes, if I know two things about pro wrestlers, they love drugs and they love cheating on their spouses.
Oh yeah.
And,
Oh
and,
no,
and,
no,
uh,
no
and
doubt,
that's not entirely true, but I think it's a very funny quote.
bro.
But
I remember. So are there like, bro? I remember during my day, the most infamous thing were the Hebners and Jack Lanza would just find the fattest rats they loved the fat rats. That was the going thing. So, bro, are there a culture of guys? I don't want you to name any names. That's not important. But are there a culture of guys that are like always with the rats, no matter what they look like?
yeah, the vultures, I'd say that culture, to me, who is well ingrained in the business, but tried to and has lived a real life. Like when I was in high school, I was a wrestling fan secretly, but I was also cool and popular and played sports. So I wasn't like a degenerate weirdo. A lot of the people that have gotten into wrestling were kind of outcasty and found their way in. And as they grew up and became adults, they shed their bad acne and their bad hair and their bad wardrobe choices. They put on the mask of fame that is professional wrestling, but they're making up for lost time. So I had high school, I had college, I hung out with frats, I went to bars, I went on spring break, like a normal, handsome, affluent, suburban, white, middle class kid would do. And I lived it. So the vulture perhaps hasn't, so they're making up for lost time. And in that theory, quantity becomes more imperative than quality, is what I've noticed. So they will buckle down and they will embed themselves in whatever circle has the biggest opportunity to pull a rat, regardless, 2, 4, dare I say 6 if they're lucky. But 2 to 4s, there's another George Carlin quote I like. He said, you know what? I never slept with a 10. But one night, I had 5 2. Yeah.
Bro, let me ask you this.
Two, 5 2s.
This is a very interesting question because we know a lot of the talent messes around with a lot of the talent. If a guy is a vulture, as you say, does that affect his chances of getting female talent? Like, will they stay away from somebody like that?
Yeah.
See that to me would be a mistake. You're gonna settle for rats when you have a chance of the female talent on the card?
Right. Like, I'd much rather, look at top level female wrestlers and exude beauty and grace and style, whatever, but they do. Than, and I'd rather have a long term courtship with somebody that we have a common interest, but maybe we can build upon that and we're going to spend a lot of time together than I would pounding, shots of Jaeger and seeing who the last chick dancing is each and every night. That gets exhausting. Trust me, I know.
Well, I would assume, bro, with that vulture that you're talking about, it's a lot more difficult to get the female talent.
Yeah,
I would think.
And usually because the vulture's so kind of socially awkward in a sense, they make bad impressions when they're around maybe a higher class female talent with consistency. Because they might try, but they might be kind of off-putting, creepy, aggressive, so to speak. Where they just gotta get kind of laughed at, and then they kind of become a little run-of-the-mill joke. And then, they'll come to cool EC3, and we'll be chatting about it because I have no interest in people within the business, so I'm a safe space talking about it, and I can kind of pry, who's vulturing you this week? So to speak, say wrestler, let's just call him James, is really putting it on somebody at catering, and I'm watching, and I'm laughing about it. And then days going on, and I see my friend, female wrestler, and we're chatting, and I go, so, James is quite charming at lunch, wasn't he? She goes, oh my God, he couldn't believe what he was trying to do. And then we just have a good chuckle on it.
Yeah. Now, bro, I happened once. I never went to the hotel bar after a show, never, because I knew nothing good ever happened in there. However, I remember one time I walked in and there was a tag team there. And one half of the tag team proceeded to have a puppet show using the breast of a woman.
That's fun.
Would I assume that was a rat? Would I assume that was probably a rat with the puppet show?
I think it's a fair assumption. It was not only a rat, but a female who unfortunately suffered some severe trauma in her life to grow up and needed some guidance probably. So she wouldn't be in a goddamn hotel fucking bar with a bunch of pro wrestlers getting her tits played like puppet show. That's absurd, man. That
was tough.
I really want a daughter to raise her right, but it scares the hell out of me.
Yeah, it's scary. Yeah, bro. My daughter lives alone in freaking Brooklyn. You don't think I'm scared to death every single day on the subways in the middle of the night, all that shit, bro?
Every right to be scared, especially in the hell that is New York now. But I bet at the same time, she has values and she has respect for not only herself but for others.
Yeah,
and like you're not going to worry that she's at the hotel bar at the puppet show. You know should be okay there.
Bro, should I reveal who was doing the puppet show? I'll tell you off air who was doing the puppet show.
Okay.
Very interesting. How do you bingo? Hold on, bro. Dude, you've seen that? You've seen the puppet show, bro?
Dude, I just guessed.
No way. How the hell? I said a tag team. It could have been 100,000 people, bro.
It was my initial, that was my first thought, and I was like, wait, maybe it's Billy and Bart Gunn. But then I was like, no, just trust you. Because when I trust my intuition, I'm right. Is that a thing with them? Is puppet show a thing that I didn't know about? I have no idea. I've never seen it. I've met them both. I like them both a lot.
Unbelievable.
Just ran, dude, it just came to me.
That's unbelievable. Did I tell you that story before?
I swear, Vince, I had
That
no
is
idea.
Unbelievable. Wow, bro. You can't get nothing past you, bro. I hope you liked the last video, and remember, man, you can go right now, if you've never been a Patreon subscriber, go right now to patreon.com/Russo TWC and get a free week of Russo's brand on me.
What's up, brand? This is Jeff Lane inviting you to come hang out with me over on Twitch. I'm live several nights a week playing games, classic and new, currently going through Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, the new Contra game, and more. So check me out, Jeff Lane 22 on Twitch.
Pick up Mike Durbin's Conan action figure, bro. Look how beautiful this thing is. I freaking love the packaging, man. Look at this. MikeDurbin.com, guys. Help Mike out, man. This is a beautiful action figure, bro. Beautiful. MikeDurbin.com.